Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over Giratina Origin Form in Open Great League. So I only just got this Pokemon on, I guess it was day before yesterday when I went to a Play Pokemon Cup and I traded with a local. It was a 1-star friendship trade. And we both actually went under 1500. So he actually got a better one than I did. Mine's pretty terrible, but it's under 1500, and I'll take that since it's the only one I have. The team's going to be Giratina Origin in the front with Registeel and Poliwrath, Shadow Poliwrath in the back. Now we're going to go ahead and get into the video since it's going to be a long one. And if you haven't, definitely subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. All right, so here's literally the very first game I played with it. And that's a win. Sometimes that's how it goes in the games. Maybe they were triple weak to Giratina. Maybe they just didn't care. So game 2, Dugong, a really horrific lead, and Lantern in the back. Really terrible swap for us since we came in with Poliwrath. Sometimes I've been switching in Registeel, sometimes I've been switching in Poliwrath. I decide, you know what, since I got the attack drop, I'm going to go for the shield here. They actually end up baiting me, which is terrible for me. But I think I'm going to go for an Icy Wind on CMP. I know that I win CMP against Lantern, so I just want to make sure that I get at least one shield back because I think I'm double shielding and farming this all the way down. This is only a Surf, but they can take us out with a Surf and the Sparks. As you see here, they almost take us out just with the Sparks. So we flipped switch. That's great because Registeel is very good into Dugong, especially at this HP. At least it's going to get one shot by Registeel. It does have... maybe I should have gone for an Icy Wind there because it does have Drill Run, which is going to be super effective in Registeel, but I'm imagining what's in the back is going to be good for me. I'm not sure what it could be. It could be maybe Azu for triple water. Could be for Alligator. Ends up being Superior, which is great. Can't really hit us for anything. If it had Aerial Ace at least doesn't do that much damage. Still not a great move even after the buffs from last season. And they actually end up going for Frenzy Plant, which probably is the right move. I bet it's still doing more damage than, even though it's resisted, than the Aerial Ace. I know I can live this, and I think it actually ends up being, oh no, they do go for the Frenzy Plant again. So I want to take this out, but, oh, we get to the, I didn't actually think I was going to be able to farm that down. Good choice by me though, because we need to get to 2 moves on this Dugong, and it's low enough that a Shadow Ball will KO, and I think the opponent's left because usually this kind of lag only happens when the opponent just closes out of the game. All right, a winning lead, Whiscash. It is winning, but it is pretty neutral. I would think that Mud Bomb's the way to go, which this person does, but I have seen a ton of Scald today in the Giratina matchup, and I guess it's because Giratina is so squishy that, they can afford to do that and try to get the debuffs. I'm going to let this go. I'm going to live. Maybe I can just get 2 shields out of this. And Poliwrath's a good matchup anyways. If they switch out right away, at least it looks like it is in Focus Blast range. But instead, we end up taking out either way. Now, I definitely don't want this on the Charge... I don't want Poliwrath on the Charger Bug, so I do bring in Registeel. But this is a dire situation, to say the least. This Charger Bug is actually good against both of our Mon here in the back. I should have thrown right away. I was afraid of them switching out, but, live and learn. Going with the Zap Cannon. So both of these moves, Zap Cannon and Focus Blast, do the same amount of damage in neutral matchups and single resisted matchups as well, since both of them are resisted. So I end up going for another slow move here, which is going to cost me a shield. Obviously, this game's not being played great, but Poliwrath still has chances to be good in the back. I end up switching in right away just to get a lead here. I do probably have to shield this, although it is reduced by 1, so we could afford to not do it. And this is an okay matchup. I mean, obviously it's not great, especially since we're in 1 Aerial Ace range, but we do have a huge energy advantage. We can probably get to 2 Icy Winds. The only thing is Charger Bug is pretty... It's low HP, but so is our Registeel. I don't know. This is going to be really close. I go for the CMP here. Hopefully The thing is, it's going to be able to farm us down the Charge Bug, but we're going to get it pretty low, I think. And actually, it's at 1 HP, and we do get the lock on. So that's really good for us. Our opponent switches into Lickitung from Poliwrath lead. I don't know, Poliwrath in lead seems pretty okay. You do get to the Icy Winds at the same rate. You're probably going to lose CMP, but, you know, it's okay. But I guess I get what they're doing here. Maybe it's like a dragon in the back, so they have two really good things against Giratina, and they can build up energy through backline matchups with Poliwrath to take an advantage as far as energy is concerned in that matchup. So I do like to go, I tend to go for double Zap Cannon since it KOs Lickitungs and has a chance for the debuff, but sometimes I do go for the Focus Blast. You just never know. I think I'll probably go for an Undercharge here to get a little bit of energy going into that next matchup. And we don't care if they throw a move. We resist it. We did get the attack debuff, which is nice as well. They do come back in with the Poliwrath. We're going to go for the Zap Cannon. That's what you get for the energy that we gained at the end of the matchup with the Lickitung. So you do want to undercharge where possible. Now it does have an energy, but also we went in for a lot of energy against that Lickitung first as well. So hopefully we can get the shield here, and if they shield, we'll shield. In fact, if they don't shield, we probably still will shield because we have that shield advantage. From that energy advantage with the Zap Cannon. Now they do come in with Dragonair. I decided to just switch right away. They do get to the move before us, even if we had switched instantly, which we did not. And I just want to lower its attack. It's going to definitely win. It's going to get to its mids a lot faster than us, so if it wants to win this matchup, it can. But we're going to get it super low, and it's going to be debuffed, so this is going to be enough for Giratina to take out pretty easily. They did end up having Dragon in the back like we thought. I did see quite a few lines that were like Lickitung Dragon back lines. Not necessarily with Poliwrath leads, because I only remember this one Poliwrath. But I did see a lot of Dragon today, to be honest. Actually, something I even thought of later was, if I doesn't make sense here, but if I led Charm today, I think I would have won like 15 leads outright. I saw a ton of Dragon leads, which is obviously horrific for Giratina, and you're going to see them in this game. And then, what else did I say? And a lot of Dragon. Wait, did I already say Dragon? Yeah, a lot of Dragon leads. What else did I see? We'll come up to it. We'll come back to it. Anyways, they actually stay in the Bastodon matchup way long into that Registeel. I think that means they're probably running Wigglytuff in the back, which is really bad for us. But it's the only thing that makes sense because we would have gotten to multiple charge moves against this Victory Bell. And they obviously are very scared of this Reggie. Now, I'm just going to let it go. Giratina is going to be able to farm this all the way down. We resist everything this can throw. So even if they throw a move, you know, whatever. And then their switch clock is super messed up because of that, so I know I need to switch in Poliwrath right away. Also, another thing to note, I didn't wait for the timer on the Giratina because I knew that his timer was so distended that I needed to gain the advantage through timer in this game. It is a Wigglytuff in the back. This is a pretty known line. Very fast attack oriented. Gonna get you a lot of wins, to be honest. But in this case, we're gonna go for a second Scald, and we're gonna probably be able to take this one. We're just doing a lot of damage here, and I'm just gonna throw right away the Ominous Wind because I don't want this to even hit us with anything. I want to win CMP if he's at the move, which he's not. And I know that another Ominous Wind is gonna be able to KO this Bastodon also. So not taking any chances against the Wigglytuff. Again, I'm not gonna be able to farm down the Wigglytuff either. So, oh, that's what it was. I saw so many Dark types in the lead also, and so many Dragons. A bunch of Umbreons. I think I ran into a Scrafty. Well, I say a bunch of Umbreons. I remember one Umbreon at least, and then this Guzzlord, and then an Altaria. I think one or two Gudras. I don't remember, and then one or two Dragonairs. Yeah, crazy games. There was actually a Scrafty somewhere. I think it was Scrafty in the backline where I had to safe swap out, and the Scrafty just totally dominated me. But anyways, back to this game. Good to see Scrafty in a game at least, right? All right, we missed a little bit of the front of this game, but coming back in with Registeel, oh, I do remember this game because they ended up having Vigoroth in the back, and I even thought to myself, the only way I can possibly win is if they're double weak to Registeel, and I actually ended up going for a shield here because I know that Guzzlord's only going to get to one move, so I only need to save one shield for it. I'm just going to shield the first move this Vigoroth throws, and then take whatever this next move is, and it could be Body Slam, it could be Rock Slide, we resist both. Definitely not going to be the ground move that it used to have. Definitely everyone's running Rock Slide for the coverage. Boom. Bulldoze. That was the name of it. And then I just know that I need to get to a Focus Blast here. And I don't know this matchup very well. I don't exactly play Registeel a bunch. But I know that I know that I'm going to do a lot of damage with this Focus Blast. And if I'm lucky, it'll KO as well. Because I already shields down and I don't know how much a Crunch is going to do. But we get that KO. Annihilate bleed here. It's actually pretty good. Sometimes they go for Ominous or Night Slash, which is fine. You would just let that go if they throw after 5. If they throw after 6, Ice Punch is fine as well. If they throw at 7, you're going to probably want to shield because they could be throwing Shadow Ball. I do go into this matchup pretty late. So this Lickitung actually gets a ton of damage off. I'm just going to hope for a debuff. Now, the thing of this match is my clock is also distended here. So I need to make sure that I can get out of this matchup when I want to. And also, they're obviously shielding. I think they're going to try to double shield through this matchup, which I'm okay with. We're not going to expend any shields here. If they want to, well, they probably don't even double shield. They probably just let this go. Either way, they do a shield. Either way, I'll be able to come in with Poliwrath. I'm probably going to shield once. I don't want to get power whipped. And then I need to gain a ton of energy, and I can just use Poliwrath as sort of a battery. Just 2 shields and then just power through stuff. They end up switching into Charge-a-Bug here. I get a ton of energy before switching out because I got to think about what I want to do in this matchup. Again, I want to win with Poliwrath probably at this point, and I don't know how much health I want to come out of this matchup with because Lickitung just going to be able to farm me all the way down. I'm just going to let this hit me. I think I'm going to be able to KO still. This is definitely an X-Scissor, which we resist. And I'm just going to throw a Shadow Ball into whatever's coming in. It's definitely going to be the Lickitung. Oh, no. I remember this. I let it go because I know that their timer's still messed up. This can only be a Body Slam. And I don't want to throw a move because it'll allow the timer to come back. Oh man, I remember playing this game and thinking I played so well. But yeah, I decided I'm not even gonna throw the move. It's double resisted. What is it really gonna do in the long run? I'm gonna the better play here is to have have like 10 extra seconds on the clock. They end up throwing a move, but we get in like 3 or 4 counters into the Lickitung. All right, another horrific situation where they swap into Lantern when we swap into Poliwrath. I'm going to go for it again, I think. If they throw the Thunderbolt here, we're good. They actually end up throwing Thunder. I haven't seen a Thunder one in a while. I try to go for the farm down. They live with 1 HP, but I throw the move. I have to throw the move. If they end up shielding, it might KO if they're literally at 1 HP. And they actually were at 1 HP, which is crazy. So we end up winning Switch, and then that obviously ends up being fantastic for us here because this is a meta champ. Now, this was 6, so this is going to be Ice Punch. We have to watch out for the switch. They do switch in back into Mandibuzz. This matchup's very easy for us. The only thing we really have to think about is, do we want to go for an undercharge on the second Zap Cannon? Do we want to throw maybe a Focus Blast after going to 100 energy? How do we want to get energy into that next matchup? That's really what we're going to be thinking about here, and that's literally all I'm thinking about. And whether or not that even matters, I don't know, because they're going to be super low here anyways, probably an Ominous win range. In fact, I might even I think I remember them switching out. No, they couldn't have. Oh, maybe they switch out after a shield? I'm not sure, but our switch is up, and I actually end up going for the Shadow Ball here. I think this is a mistake. We're going to outpace anyways, but I think I could have just gone double Ominous Wind. Ominous Wind does like 40-something% to this Metacham, because we end up seeing it right here. I guess it does something like 35 to 40. I'm not too sure on the matchups. Obviously, I just got this, so I don't know the exact matchups and damage for all of this stuff, but it ends up looking like maybe 37% there. All right, Deoxys in the lead. Fantastic lead for us. Now, the fact that they stay in means I already know they're going for a Psycho Boost. So one of the teams to be afraid of here is the triple counter team, which usually runs something like Vigoroth and Obstagoon in the back. So probably isn't one of those teams, because I think in an ABB strat against Giratina, I would have swapped. Although it ends up being Obstagoon, and I actually switched really late into that Obstagoon because I didn't know quite what to do. Do I just stay in forever? No, it's going to get infinite energy, but maybe Poliwrath could beat it anyways. So then I just decide I'm going to throw out Poliwrath. Maybe we can get some, and then when they throw in the Metacham here, I'm like, I know I need to get shields. But once they showed it the first time, I was like, okay, if they had baited me, I would have gone straight to the 2 shields. But since they didn't, I'm gonna just go in with this. I think they end up shielding and then switching after this. I have to shield because I need something to be able to beat Metacham. If they ever switch, we need to switch right away, because I can just get to this Focus Blast and take this out easily, and then we'll have the Giratina with a shield in the back against the Metacham. They actually go for Obstruct, but I actually get there 1 turn early here before they get to another Obstruct, which is 6 counters to get to Obstruct. And it's going to KO because it's double super effective. And this Metacham's going to try to farm us down, I think, to get a ton of energy going to that next matchup. But we get to the Zap Cannon. Zap Cannon does about 60% to the Metacham, so they're only at 50%, takes them out. Dragonair lead. I told you earlier, we ran into so many Dragon leads. This is just another one of them. I'm going to shield, and if they stay in, I'll throw an Icy Wind. If not, we're going to hope their back matchup's not good. But they obviously have something in the back that's also good against Giratina, which means I need to make sure that I win this matchup. I'll go down shield if I need to, and I'm going to have to. They hang on with 1 HP. But you know what? Hopefully I'm getting myself into a good matchup with this later. Usually Dragonairs run with a ton of teams. This looks like it's going to be a Vigoroth, which means we need to get the shield here, and then we need to let it take us out, and then we'll come in Registeel. They actually end up coming in with Quagsire. Great for us. At least we get to know what's coming in the back. Shadow Quagsire actually does a ton of damage. We don't want it to get to 2 Mud Bombs, or maybe it's going to go for 1 Stone Edge. It's definitely going to go for the 2 Mud Bombs. I'm just going to throw this right away. Our switch is already up. I already know what our win con is. We need to get back into Registeel as soon as possible to try to take out this Vigoroth. I will say I didn't run into any Vigoroth leads, but I imagine that's going to be pretty hard for this team. And then Charm leads is obviously going to be very hard, specifically Wigglytuff in the lead. They go up to Earthquake. I decide to shield. They end up throwing Hydro Cannon. Means I can get a few more counters off before I throw, but they throw right away, which means I know this is Hydro Cannon again. And then I'm just going to try to counter it all the way down. Maybe they're just trying to get damage onto us because of the lead, but we end up winning that matchup. So hopefully Giratina has play against the backline, and they end up coming in with Charge Bug. Now you can get 1 counter underneath the damage of the Volt switches, so I'm going to be able to do that twice. Doesn't do very much. Obviously they resist it, but you know, every little bit helps, and I'm just going to go for both. They end up coming in with an Azu versus Registeel, 2 shields. Doesn't really matter. I guess if they have Hydro Pump, they have some chances. But if you ever get the debuff, it's also pretty over. But then again, we also have Giratina with full HP in the back. This is their last mon, meaning that any debuffs are going to stick. This is fine, even if it's Hydro Pump. Giratina, I believe in even shields, also beats Azumarill. Just how Paces and the Shadow Balls actually do nearly half. So I think it does like 45%, or 40, probably a little lower on the 40 side. But yeah, for Alligator, messes us up, I think. So for Alligator, having that new Shadow Claw really messes Giratina up because it's doing super effective damage. Now I end up going for the Icy Wind here. I really wish I had gone for the Scald, but I don't know. I was thinking I need to outpace, but then they end up banking a move anyways. But I guess we have a little bit of extra energy going into this Goodra matchup. Goodra does have Power Whip, so that is something to note here. I'm probably just going to let this go down, though. Even an Aqua Tail KOs us from here. I guess we get to the moves before them, so I know that I'm going to outpace, only because we already had a ton of energy, a little bit of energy coming out of that last matchup. And now at least it's kind of like we won Switch, so hopefully thing in the back is going to be good for us. It is Lickitung, which is actually obviously very good for us. Only thing to think about is what's going to happen with the Giratina matchup. I actually know I can farm this all the way down, even though we don't do a ton. But this is actually pretty scary, especially unless we get a debuff, which would really actually help us a ton. And I end up going for a play here that maybe I shouldn't have gone for, maybe I should. I end up going for the catch, and then I'm like, okay, I resist everything it does. I double resist what I thought was going to be thrown, which was, well, I thought was a body slam was going to be thrown there, to be honest. So I try to go for the boost here. Probably a good decision. I don't know if it's a mistake or a good decision, but second time around, I end up going for the Shadow Ball. I'm already getting so low, it doesn't even matter if I boost at this point. If anything, it's giving them more energy. Although, to be fair, the most they can ever come out of here with is 2 Power Whiffs. Maybe I should have just straight gone Ominous Winds and hope for the boosts. I remember old Master League Premier, I would do that against the Snorlaxes of the world. Now I'm in some huge trouble here. And really, IVs are going to matter a lot on both sides because they're going to get to 2 Power Whips. I think I'm going to be able to hang on here. And I do. And we have the Focus Blast and this is going to KO. This could have gone all sorts of bad. I'm not sure what the best plays here would have been, catching on Giratina or not. But you know what? We went for the play and it worked. All right. Umbreon lead. I already told you all I ran into so many dark leads. Umbreon, just another one of those leads. I think I already know what this team's going to be, though, because I've seen this for probably the last 4 or 5 seasons, Umbreon and a Charmer, and I think it's going to be Alola Ninetales in the back. Usually they run Shadow. This team's been around forever. I believe the streamer Jonathan Kelly came up with this team, as far as I know, at least. And I'm just going to go for another debuff. I did get the debuff the first time around, and it's going to KO if they decide to let it go. They actually decide to shield, and I know for a fact that's this team now, because no one is double shielding a Charmer into Registeel when they have shields already for everything else. So I go for a little bit of an overfarm, just a tad, and then I'm throwing this as well. And then I really got to think about what I want to do because I'm debuffed, and I think I'm double debuffed actually. So hopefully they do something weird, and they actually do go into Ninetales here. I'm getting chunked, but at least 1, I got rid of the debuff. 2, Giratina is not going to do anything to Umbreon, so I'd rather do the little bit of nothing I can do here, and I have to save the shields because at least I resist the Weather Ball. I'm going to be taking neutral damage from the Umbreon's Dark Pulses, so that's going to be doing more than this resisted move is going to do. I'm pretty sure at least. I mean, Alola Ninetales at least has a huge stat product for attack and is Shadow, so maybe I'm wrong in that situation, but I go for what I think here, and yeah, I get to the Focus Blast and GG. This opponent, I think, could have won, but yeah, maybe let Wigglytuff go or shield and then swap. I'm not too sure. So we end up going to the mirror here. We both throw Ominous Wind. My Giratina is really terrible, so I'm surprised they win CMP here. Maybe we actually have the exact same attack stat, but I think it's wild that I lost CMP here. But I end up deciding I'm going to go for the farm down. If they throw a move, we get an extra claw in, and we can probably farm this all the way down. But ours is actually losing HP even more. So not only did they win CMP, they're actually hitting us harder than we're hitting them, which is wild. They ended up coming with Slant Slash. I mean, we're going to get the shield back, and you know what we have in the back, Poliwrath, which is going to chunk this. And they end up having Skarmory in the back, and that's GG. Double Steal makes a lot of sense. I actually was thinking of instead of Poliwrath running Skarmory, but then I thought I'm not really going to have a lot of coverage. I have Skarmory, which is running double charge attacks for flying, and then everything Giratina does is Ghost. So I think I'm putting myself too much in a hole, and I want to have a sort of big coverage with the team, at least outside of the Giratina. So they led Lantern, which is obviously very good for Giratina, but Trevenant is another thing I ran into that I thought might have a big problem. So we had to stay in against the Trevenant. We were going to outpace it to the Ominous Wind. They let it hit. And so I decided to come in with Registeel. We need to wait the clock out as much as possible. Clock's still technically up, I think. It was just barely. And then they come in with Empoleon. We resist the Steel Wing here. We're going to have to shield the Drill Peck, though. I guess we don't have to. But you know what? I have so much energy coming out of this matchup. I'm just going to farm it all the way down. I'm going to debuff this Lantern into Oblivion. This game's pretty over. I mean, Giratina has suffered a lot of damage from the Trevenant, but we're going to get 2 Icy Winds off, and that's just GG. Again, this team is really good just from even what you've seen. I played 25 games today. Of my 25 games, I probably ran into just 15 horrific leads, and this is another one of them, Altaria. They end up switching pretty slow, but it is into Lantern, so I'm thinking already my Poliwrath has a ton of play already, because hopefully I can get some energy somewhere along the line, and I'm already going to outpace the Altaria, except that I had a little bit of an energy advantage here in the beginning, but I still outpaced later in the 2 shields. And after all is said and done, they have, let's say, 3 Icy Wind debuffs. Probably 2, that makes more sense. They have 2 shields. They're going to get KO'd from the Poliwrath, and I'll be able to live a Sky Attack. But they end up coming in with Stunfisk, so Stunfisk is going to be really good for both of our Mon in the back. Obviously, I think we're going to come in with Poliwrath. Again, we want to gain that energy advantage against the Altaria, because that's going to be what wins us this game. We just stick this matchup. 1 Icy Wind, I don't know if, I think it basically KOs. It might KO from full. I know they're not even at full anymore, so it's definitely going to KO here from 75%, 70%. And again, we outpace, and I don't have to try to get energy coming out of this matchup. I have the shield. They have to Earthquake us, so I probably won't even shield what they do here on the G-Fisk, because I know that the Giratina is going to do well against this anyways. And if they don't shield, or if they throw a Rock Slide, we'll be able to make it to the Scald and KO this. But yeah, they just leave because that's the win for us. And that is Giratina Origin in Open Great League. Now, really, you have to look for someone to trade with it that you have a 1-star friendship with. So in that first 7 days, I traded so it's not 100% that you're going to get your and you have to have done the research or find someone that has done the research. It's not 100% that you're going to get it. The very first trade I did with someone at my work, we weren't even friends. I just messaged them on the work Pokemon Go Discord, actually Slack channel, but there's both at my work. But we never traded before. We traded, and it went to 1534, and that's pretty unlucky, but this guy was a great sport about it. He wanted a Relicanth, and I think I had 3 more Relicanths still from when I went to New Zealand 4 years ago, but 5 years ago, actually. But I told him, you know what, can we just trade the Relicanth day 1? Because I think this is going to go lucky, and it actually did end up going lucky, and I don't want my thing to go lucky. I want it to stay under 1,500. I want to have the possibility to go under 1,500, and he said, yeah, I've got a lot of Stardust. We'll do that, and he was able to trade me the second day, which is fantastic. Great guy for him to do that for me, but ended up not helping me in the end. But I did trade someone, I think, 4 or 5 days later at a Pokemon Play event, like I said in the intro, and that one didn't go lucky, and we both were able to get it under 1,500. He was actually able to power his up one more time. I think his went to 1494. Mine obviously was, I can't remember, 1475, 77, something like that. So not great, and its stats are really not that good. But if it's the only one I'm going to get for Open Great League, then it's the only one I'm going to get, and I'm going to use it. So thanks for tuning into this video, and I'll see you in the next one.